What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to run through 5 fantasy MVPs for the rest of the season. Now, you may be thinking of the obvious players like McDavid and Matthews, but for this video, I'm going to go outside of the top 10 overall players and look at some low-key players who we feel have a strong outlook rest of season and can carry your team to the top. Before we start this video, let's hop over to our player of the day. In this segment, I will give you a random stat that's associated with the player. In the comment section below, it is your job to figure out who that player is. This is more of a difficult one today, but the stat today is, with a minimum of 200 minutes in 5-on-5, this player leads the league with an on-ice goals for percentage of 78.5%. Who is this player? Leave your answers in the comment section below. The first fantasy MVP rest of season is Aleksander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. The 25-year-old Finnish center has put together a really good career in his 8 years in Florida. In 2018, Barkov broke out, scoring 35 goals and 96 points, including 31 power play tallies and over 200 shots. This breakout was long awaited for fantasy owners, as the former second overall pick was inching closer and closer every year. One thing to note about this season is that Barkov did start to see some puck luck, and his shooting percentage was up 7 points higher than the year prior at 17%. Although his shooting percentage did drop in 2019, Barkov still managed to score 20 goals and 62 points in 66 games, leaving him 4 points shy of reaching the point per game mark. Luckily for fantasy owners who drafted him this season, Barkov may be having a career year in this shortened season. Something very eye-opening for me was Barkov's significant increase in shot volume. He's averaging 3.5 shots per game and over 5 shot attempts per game, and these are numbers that we've never seen from Barkov. On top of that, he is dominating 5-on-5 when he's on the ice, and this is justified by his 59.6% Corsi for percentage, ranking him 3rd in the league. He also has an on-ice scoring chances for percentage of 62.75%, ranking him 1st in the league, and finally, his crazy 67% high danger chances for percentage is enough yet again to rank him 1st. These numbers from Barkov this season are enough to grant him a fantasy MVP, and we're confident that he can sustain this momentum for the rest of the season and hopefully push your fantasy team to the top. Up next, we have Max Pacioretty of the Vegas Golden Knights. This season, Vegas has done a great job generating a bunch of offense and limiting defense. Max Pacioretty, or better known as the poor man's McKinnon, is off to another great start this season. In his first 21 games, Pacioretty has scored 12 goals, 21 points, he holds a plus 12 rating, and has a 95 shots. Pacioretty is a shot volume machine. Last season, he averaged just over 4.3 shots per game and 7.7 shot attempts per game, on top of scoring 32 goals and 66 points. It's important to note that he has produced these great numbers while playing under 18 minutes per night, and for Pacioretty, it's obvious that he doesn't need to play 20 minutes per night to succeed. The only downside with Pacioretty so far this season is that he hasn't really produced a whole lot in the power play, but this has been the case for his entire career. The 19 power play points he had last season was a career high for him, so we can't really expect those numbers to be eye-popping this season. Nevertheless, Pacioretty has been fantastic 5-on-5 over the last 2 years. He ranks 5th in the league for on-ice Corsi percentage at 57.7%. He also holds a 60% on-ice goals for percentage, ranking him in the top 20, and his 60% on-ice scoring chances for percentage is enough to rank him 3rd in the league. Vegas is steamrolling their division with a 16-4 record, 70 goals for, and just 45 goals against. We don't see them slowing down at any point this season, and for Pacioretty, his consistency in every category is enough for him to be noted as a fantasy MVP for the rest of the season. Coming in at number 3, we have my favorite fantasy player and a player that I can't really pronounce his last name, Brady Tkachuk. I'm so happy I was able to take Brady this season in the 5th round of a keeper league, and I'm confident he's going to be a staple on my team for the next few years or more. Brady is coming off of 2 great seasons with Ottawa. As a rookie, he scored 22 goals and 45 points in 71 games and added 214 shots and 174 hits. Following his great rookie season, Brady continued on this pace in 2019, scoring 21 goals and 44 points in 71 games. He also added an outstanding 259 shots and 303 hits. Yes, you heard me correctly. In 71 games last season, Brady had 259 shots and 303 hits. And to no surprise, Brady is back at it again. In the first 27 games this season, he's recorded 18 points, a league lead 117 shots, and 112 hits. His 4.3 shots per game are right up there with Pacioretty and McKinnon, and his 4.1 hits per game are not quite at Radko Gudas levels, but are definitely close. In a full 82-game season, Brady is on pace for 355 shots and 340 hits. These are numbers that literally no player has put up. The final tire pumping for Brady that I'm going to do here is that his 13.58 individual expected goals for ranks him first in the league ahead of McDavid and Matthews. He also ranks first for scoring chances and first for high danger chances. Brady is an MVP in almost every fantasy format and will continue to be for years to come. If you have him in a keeper league like I do, every time you look at your roster, you're happy to see his name. Up next, we have the first defenseman on this list, Mr. Dougie Hamilton of the Carolina Hurricanes. Dougie was phenomenal last season for the Hurricanes prior to his injury, where he scored 14 goals and 40 points in 47 games. To add to that, he also had a plus 30 rating, 12 power play points, and 170 shots. He was on a 24 goal, 70 point pace in an 82 game last season before he got injured. So far this year, the Hurricanes have looked great, holding a 17-6 record and a plus 21 goal differential. Dougie has been a huge part of their success so far, scoring just 1 goal and 17 points in 24 games, along with a plus 8 rating, 10 power play points, and 72 shots. His 155 shot attempts this season is enough to rank him second for defenseman behind only Roman Josi. Dougie is not particularly a defenseman that has eye-popping block and hit numbers, but he gets it done in the offensive column, very similar to many forwards on your roster. Dougie's goal totals are down significantly this season. He's recorded just 1 goal in 24 games after having 6 10-plus goal seasons in a row. His shooting percentage so far this season is one of the lowest in the league, given the sample, at 1.4%. We're anticipating this number to increase with sample as his career average shooting percentage is 6.2%. Dougie has turned his season around the last few weeks after having a pretty slow start, and we're confident that he has found his footing in Carolina and is going to be a staple on your fantasy team to help push your team to the top. The final player and the only goalie on this list is Marc-Andre Fleury of the Vegas Golden Knights. With Robin Lehner out for the last month, Fleury has stepped back into the starter role on a very good Vegas team. So far this season, Fleury holds a 12-3 record and has put up a league lead 942 save percentage, 160 goals against average, and 4 shutouts. Yes, all 3 of those stats are the best in the league right now. As of right now, there's no timetable for Lehner's return, and this is going to impact many fantasy rosters as Lehner had a really good outlook this season. But with Fleury now taking over as the number 1 netminder in Vegas, it puts a big emphasis on Fleury's impact rest of season. As I mentioned before with the Golden Knights, they hold a 16-4 record and a plus 25 goal differential. They are literally dominating their division so far this season, and we expect this to continue. Not many teams can compete with their depth offensively and defensively, and this is shown in every game. I think a very important factor when determining a goalie's success is looking at the team's strength defensively. A team that gives up a bunch of shots and scoring chances is going to reflect really bad on a goaltender, and this is evident in Edmonton, where they're top 5 for shots against and scoring chances against, and their goaltender tandem has struggled. But luckily for Fleury, he doesn't have to worry about this. Vegas has given up the 4th least shots against and the 6th least scoring chances against, and to no surprise, the least goals against this season. As long as Lehner remains out, Fleury's outlook for the rest of the season is almost limitless, and he's done enough this season to earn a spot as a fantasy MVP. That'll do it for our top 5 fantasy MVPs video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you haven't already, click the link in our description and join our Discord. The Fantasy Puck community is growing, and we want all of you to be part of it. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.